Hello and welcome to episode 62 of the Made by Mumino podcast. My name is Catherine and as usual I'm filming in Mönchengladbach in Germany where I live permanently with my partner, although I'm originally from Wales in the UK. So yes, welcome to you, a huge welcome to you if you're new here and a very warm welcome back if you've been here before. As usual, I put chapters in, so if there are any parts that you're not interested in, please feel free to skip through. I also link everything that I talk about down below in the show notes. But if I miss something or if you have any questions or you just want to chat, feel free to comment. I also, you can find me, I'm lost. You can find me on Instagram as Mumino, on Ko-fi and Ravelry as Made by Mumino. And thank you so much to the lovely people who have been donating money through Ko-fi. It's really, really kind of you. I really appreciate it. All of the any revenue that I generate in the podcast goes back into it, into buying equipment and going to yarn festivals, that kind of thing. So a really big thank you. Today I've got lots to talk to you about. A couple of finished objects, a couple of new projects, an irresponsible purchase and some plans for a spin. So mostly I talk about knitting, test knits, that kind of thing. But today there's also a little dabble into spinning as well. So yes, I thank you so much for joining me today and let's get started. I also want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Cornio Flanagan. She is a former colleague of mine that I knew many, many years ago, and she now lives back in Ireland. And she's doing a 24-hour craft along for the Samaritans Ireland, which is an absolutely fantastic charity. So if you'd like to donate to her 24-hour craft along, although I do fancy joining that as well, to be honest with you, but I don't need any more reason to knit and craft and everything for any more time during the day. But anyway, it's a really, really worthy cause. So if you'd like to donate to her 24-hour craft marathon, then the link for that is down below. That link is for Samaritans Ireland, but I believe that the Samaritans UK are also doing a similar 24-hour marathon if you'd like to donate to the UK site instead. But yes, so what am I wearing today? I am wearing my Enjoy Flowers tee. This was a test knit I did for Knitting for Breakfast. I think it was this time last year, and it's a bit cooler today, so I'm able to wear something a bit floofy, so I thought I'd pull this out and wear it for you. I love this. It is light, it is fluffy, it is airy. It's made with 2 strands of mohair throughout. The pattern calls for 2 different colours, but I've actually used 3. I used a dusty rose from Walmart Verve in the Netherlands. I also used a variegated indie dyed yarn from a small independent yarn shop in it's on the Dutch coast. It's not too far from Domburg, so if you're in that area, I definitely recommend going for a visit. But the main colour, this dark pink, is Along Avec Anna, and I picked up a big bag of it in Wonderwool a couple of years ago, and she was selling it off as a second because the core colour was different to the main colour of the mohair, but I can't see it at all, and I think it looks gorgeous. So I seem to remember what I did was I held the variegated yarn up here with the dusty rose colour, and then I brought in 2 strands of the Along Avec Anna for this part, and then I think I held the variegated yarn with itself here before, if I can show you the bottom part, holding the variegated yarn with the Along Avec Anna down at the bottom. I'll put up a little video here of me wearing it so that you can see it in all its glory. But I knit the 2X size, I think. I did look up the details here. So yes, I knit the 2X size. The sizes go from an XXS to a 6X, and that is 76 centimetres to 171 centimetres bust circumference, or 29.9 inches to 67.3 inches. So a nice size inclusive pattern. And if this is something that you would like to do to use up some of your mohair, I totally recommend it. It was a very, very satisfying knit, and the finished garment is just so light and airy. I find it really good if I'm traveling, because it just doesn't take up any space in my suitcase. But it's a really, really pretty little t-shirt. So the recommended needle size is 4.5 for the body, so it's a relatively quick knit as well. And I used the recommended needle size. And it's just so pretty. You do a round yoke and then separate for sleeves, and there's just a simple little bit of ribbing for the neck, the hem, and the cuffs. And it's just really, really pretty. I have approximately 120 centimetre bust circumference, and I ended up with probably about 8 centimetres of positive ease, I would say. What should the size have been? So I should have ended up with about 133 centimetre bust circumference. So it's about right. It's about right. I'd estimate between 8 and 10, maybe even 12 centimetres positive ease there. So it's a nice light and airy t-shirt. But yeah, I've done a couple of test knits for knitting for breakfast, and they just have such pretty patterns. If you like a few flowers, if you like something quite sort of feminine and a little bit almost like traditional looking, a lot of their patterns, they're very, very pretty. So it was a joy to knit, and a really nice fun testing group as well. So I did enjoy this one, and I'm so inspired by some of the other colours that people have gone for. They're gorgeous. I think you could probably get away with doing this in a fingering weight as well. I mean, you wouldn't get this interesting colour change from switching up the different mohairs, but I think that this would work quite well in a fingering weight yarn, especially if you didn't want to use something fluffy like mohair or whatever. So yeah, really, really pretty. I do still have some left over from all of the yarns, I think, but mainly from the darker pink, the raspberry colour, although I think they call it praline. I do have quite a few balls of that left over, so that will go into another project at some time. But yeah, this is my Enjoy Flowers tee from Knitting for Breakfast. So my first finished object has already been gifted, so sadly I can't show it to you. It was those socks that I was working on in the last episode. And I managed to finish them on time. They were gifted to the recipient on Saturday on their birthday, and they were really happy with them. I'll put a picture up here of the finished object. In fact, I think they may have sent me a picture of them wearing them as well, so if I have that, I'll put that up too. But yeah, they turned out nicely. I was really pleased with them, and they'll be a good pair of socks to wear because they're made with just a standard Lana Grossa sock yarn, so they'll be fine in the washing machine. So very non-knitter friendly if you're giving knitted items to people who don't knit and maybe don't want to hand wash their garments and so on. So yeah, there's nothing else to say about those really. I don't really use a pattern per se for the patterns, for the socks that I make. I just use a basic vanilla sock kind of recipe. These were a 72 stitch cast on, and I did a 2x2 rib all the way down apart from on the bottom of the foot. I just find that particularly for a gift knitted sock, they just fit really, really nicely, and they're a bit more forgiving just in case you haven't got the sizing quite right or whatever. But these were quite a long knit because they were an EU size 48, I believe, which I did look it up last time. I think that's a UK 13, a US 14, so they were a little on the larger side because normally I just knit socks for myself, and I have an EU 38, 39, which is sort of a UK 6 size. Yeah, there was a little bit more yarn involved. I have the leftovers. So from 100 gram skein, I have that left over, which is not too bad. Definitely enough to make some shorties for myself. The contrast colour that I used was this. I think it's Filcolana Arvetta. It's a lovely, soft, squishy yarn, and it does wash very well. It does have a tendency to felt a little bit, if I'm honest, if you're sort of quite a heavy walker. But I don't mind that too much. I don't mind when my heels felt a little bit because I find it quite comfortable. But yes, Filcolana Arvetta, it's a really nice soft yarn and really nice to use for a contrast colour. So yeah, sorry about that. I don't have it to show you in person, but they were gratefully received. So the main event to show you today, I have a finished garment. I have a finished test knit. So I have been test knitting the Wildflowers tee for Eleanor Mortensen, and I finished it and it's blocked. Oh, I am unbelievably happy with this. And it has blocked out beautifully. I tell you what, blocking is magic for any garment, but when you're doing something in colour work or in lace, it just smooths everything out. I can't imagine not blocking a garment like this, to be honest. So let me talk you through this, and I will put up a little video here of me wearing it as well. I didn't want to wear it today because I wanted to be able to show it to you properly. So this is a typical Eleanor Mortensen pattern. It's a round yoke construction with a stranded colour work yoke, and she just does a beautiful variety of lots of different jumpers and t-shirts in this kind of arrangement, and she does just such pretty stranded colour work. It's lovely. So as I said, this is a round yoke construction. There's a small amount of lace in the collar, so you can see that. A little bit of texturing there. You then do some increases and go straight into this stranded colour work. Now the colour work pattern comes in 2 different charts, and you can mix them and match them however you want. I just stuck with doing chart 1, chart 2, chart 1, chart 2 all the way around, but some people have mixed them up a little bit. Some people have only done 1 chart all the way around, and they all look fabulous. So do go and have a look at the Ravelry group and also the hashtag on Instagram, because there are some really, really beautiful examples out there. So you knit the yoke, and by the time you finish knitting the yoke, it's pretty much time to split for the sleeves. You knit the body, which is quite a short bit of stockinette, to be honest. As you can see in the video, it's fairly cropped, so perfect for wearing with a skirt or something like that, but there's no reason why you couldn't do the body a little bit longer. After doing the stockinette, there's a little bit of colour work around the bottom just before you start doing a patterned hem for the ribbing, if I show you that. So you've got this really pretty kind of lace work in the hem down at the bottom. And then I picked up the sleeves, and again you've got this really pretty little bit of lace work in the ribbing as well. It's just a really nice tee, and to be honest, I think it's going to be super easy to wear as well. It's a bit on the warmer side because you've got that double layer from the stranded colour work, but yeah, it's gorgeous. So this is for fingering weight yarn. I used a linen superwash merino blend for mine from the Knitting Shed, and I used just over 2 skeins of the main colour and under half a skein for the second colour. In fact, if I show you what I've got left over, I was a bit worried. I thought I'd be playing yarn chicken because I didn't have a complete skein of this colour. This is called Coffee Bean. I had 56 grams left over. My mum actually gave it to me. It was her leftovers from another project because she'd bought some of the same yarn a previous year. And yeah, I had 56 grams left, and what is that? It's probably about 13 grams that I've got left from that. So yes, as long as you're knitting to gauge, then you should be able to get away with not a full skein for the colour work. I knit the 5th size, which came out as 125 centimetres for the bust circumference, but it goes up to 142 centimetres for the bust circumference, which is 63 inches. So reasonably size inclusive, which is really nice. It uses a 3.5mm needle throughout. But you go down to a 3.25mm needle for the cuffs. So yeah, from the 3rd skein, I've got that much left, which is quite a lot. But I love this kind of base where you've got this this merino but with the flecks of linen going through it. So I've got quite a few leftovers in various colours of very similar bases, so I don't mind having this left over at all. If I show you this is the label. Is that focusing? Not today, doesn't want to focus. Oh, there we go. So that's the label. And I picked this up at Wonderwall last year, and it's hand dyed in Sussex from the Knitting Shed. And this colourway is called Fool's Gold, and you get 366 metres per 100 grams. And yeah, it's just a really nice yarn to work with. And as you can see, it's worked very nicely with the colour work. If I turn it inside out, I will show you my floats. I've been a bit lazy with these floats. I've only picked them up every now and again. Some of them are a little bit longer, but as it's for me, I don't mind. But that's what it looks like on the back. And I'm very happy with it. Yes, I'm interested to see how this yarn wears as I wear it. So how it holds up as I wear it. So yes, I'm really happy with this. The test deadline, I think, was something like the 16th of July, so a couple of weeks' time. But Eleanor Mortensen tends to release the patterns quite quickly after the end of the test knit. So I imagine it'll be released by the end of July if you're interested in this. So keep an eye on Eleanor Mortensen's profile, but I will also post as well on the release date. So yes, this is my Wildflowers tee, and I'm really, really happy with it. The next thing to talk to you about is my Mirkwood pullover, and I am loving this, and I'm so glad that I've managed to pick this up again. So my priority last week was getting that tee finished for that test knit, but I've also got another test knit on the go as well. This is called the Mirkwood Pullover, and it's by a relatively new designer called Ruth Wahlberg. The deadline for this isn't until the middle of August, so I imagine that this pattern will be out at the end of the summer. So over the weekend, after having finished the last test knit, I was able to work on this a bit more, and it's so pretty. I'll get the extra yarn out of the way, there we go. It's so pretty. You've got this all over lace work. It's super easy to memorise. It's a 4-row repeat, and yeah, it's really intuitive. So you start off by knitting the back. There are some short rows in the back, and then you pick up the fronts before doing some increases and then joining in the round. So since you last saw this, I think I've done another 8-9 centimetres on here. I'm almost ready to do the body. It's quite short in the body after the armholes because, as you can see, the armholes are very deep. When the body's finished, there'll be an I-cord bind off around there, and there'll also be an I-cord bind off around the neck as well. So there'll be some stitches to pick up. The sleeves have a really, really pretty drapey construction, so I'm looking forward to doing those sleeves. And yeah, I don't think this will take me that long now that I'm going to be concentrating on this. This yarn is lovely. Excuse me. This is Halo from Nellie and Eve. I've spoken about it before in previous episodes. Here's a complete skein of it. So yes, Helen of Nellie and Eve has a lovely podcast. She's a dyer based in Wales, not too far away from where my parents live. And she has a farm there with a small flock of sheep, and she hand dyes all of her yarn using plant dyes, and it's a really, really nice little podcast. So yeah, I do recommend it if you want to go and give that a watch. There's a link down below in the show notes. But this is her Halo, which is a brushed wool, so it has that kind of effect of being a floofy wool without actually having any so-called floof in it. So this is 50 grams of British brushed wool, and this colourway is called Duck Egg. In fact, I'm pretty sure that she's got a summer sale on at the moment as of time of filming. What's the date today? It's Monday the 6th of July. So I'm not sure what she's got included in the sale, but I might go and have a look as well, or I might be good. But anyway, if you're interested, I believe that she has a sale on at the moment. So yes, this has been brushed to give it the appearance of being sort of like mohair or suri or something like that, but it's just regular wool. And because it's plant dyed, you get this slight variation in the colour. And when it's being knitted up, if I show you, but yeah, there we go. It means that you have some little splooshes and blobs of various other colours. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying working with this. It is gorgeous. If she does have any more in stock, I'd be very tempted to get some more. As you can see, this is a really, really large gauge. I'm knitting this on 5mm needles, and I'm holding the yarn as a single strand. So this is going to be very light and airy, and I'm planning on wearing it over like a little vest top or something in sort of summer evenings and that transition into autumn. So really, really happy that I can pick this up and work on it properly now, because I'm thoroughly enjoying knitting it. It's not mindless because of the lace, but it's not difficult. So yeah, it's a nice thing to be knitting whilst watching television or whatever. So yes, that is my Mirkwood tee. What colour? What size am I making? I think I'm making the 3rd size. Where is the pattern? It is there, Mirkwood. Yes, I'm making the 3rd size. There are 6 sizes altogether, and it goes from 102 centimetres to 187 centimetres bust circumference. Yeah, so the 3rd size will end up with about 136. I imagine that even though I got gauge with this, with the 5mm needles, I imagine it's going to grow a little bit because that lace is really going to open up when it's blocked. So I really don't mind if it's a bit oversized. I think it'll look really, really nice, and it'll be very relaxed to wear in the summer. The pattern recommends using a 4.5mm needle, and I tested everything from a 4 to a 5.5mm, and I got a gauge I was happy with the 5mm. So it recommends 16 stitches by 16 rows of stockinette in 10 centimetres or 4 inches. So yeah, that's what I ended up using, and I'm really happy with it so far, and fingers crossed I'll have a finished object to show you in the next episode. So yeah, wish me luck. Okay, the next thing to show you is a gift knit for another very dear friend. So Steffi, if you're watching and you don't want to have a spoiler for your birthday socks, please look away now. But yeah, my friend Steffi, she loves bright colours and she loves unicorns. So I was at Wonderwall earlier this year, and somebody came up to talk to me and say hello, which was lovely. I love it when people come and chat with me. It's so nice to meet you in real life. But yeah, I was being nosy and had a look in their bag to see what they'd already bought. And they had bought this, which is just incredible. Got to be honest, they're not really my colours, but I saw this and I knew immediately that I wanted to make some socks for my friend out of this. So this is it all caked up. This is a really bright and cheerful neon yarn from Siobhan's Crafts. There's the label there. And the colourway is called Cheerful, so there we go. And yeah, I'm making some socks for my friend. These, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I was knitting these when I was on the train the other day, and I had quite a long day ahead of me. I had to do some invigilating and stuff, so I was planning on knitting during all that time. But disaster struck. One of my needles broke when I was on the train. So never mind. These things happen. But these are the socks so far. I made up a little chart to do a unicorn on there, but I've got to be honest, I'm not really happy with that contrast. Maybe that side is better. So I think after I finished, I might use some duplicate stitch and do some white just to fill in the unicorn a little bit, just so you can see it a little bit better. And I will put the chart onto the Ravelry page when I've done a Ravelry page for this as well. I'm usually pretty good on Ravelry. I usually keep it up to date, but I've fallen behind a little bit over the last couple of months. Just been really, really super busy doing normal, boring, adulty stuff. So yeah, for these I've done a 72 stitch cast on. Just because I knew with the colour work there was going to be a little bit less stretch in them, so I wanted to make sure that they fit my friend nicely. I'm going to reduce though when I'm doing the gusset here back down to 64 stitches so that the foot is a little bit tighter. But how cool is that? They are very bright. You won't lose my friend in a crowd, well, as long as you can see her feet anyway. But yes, so these are my really fun unicorn socks that are currently in my project bag. I'm not sure what this is. I think it might be some leftovers from Lay Family yarn. That's the contrast colour. I mean, in hindsight, I should have gone with black or something for the unicorn, but I just didn't want to use black. I really wanted to use purple because it's her favourite colour. And I think I'll probably do the toe in this colour as well. Yeah, and I will experiment with doing a little bit of duplicate stitch for that unicorn just to make it pop a little bit better. Or they're just going to be slightly camouflaged unicorns, but we'll see. We'll see. But yes, as I said, I will put the charts that I've made up for that on the Ravelry page when I've done it, which probably won't be when I've released this, but I'll let you know how I get on. So yes, that's my handbag project at the moment, but I had to make up another handbag project because we were out with friends on the weekend and one of the friends was the person who's going to receive those, so I had to make up an emergency handbag project. So I pulled out a skein that I've had for a while that my partner chose from Atelier Het Volbeest, which is a local to me yarn dyer, and she makes very pretty colours. She tends to be at all of the local yarn shows and things, and she's just really lovely, so it's nice to go and chat with her. And my partner chose this colourway, which is called Creepy Virginia, on her regular sock base. And this is it caked up. Lots of lovely colours in there. And no surprises here, I'm making him a Musselburgh. So there we go, that's what I've done so far. I cast it on, I started doing the increases, then I went to my friend's party, and as you can see, I was doing more chatting than actually knitting, which is not a bad thing. So yes, that once I've finished my that pair of socks, this will become my handbag project, but I probably won't touch this for a little while unless I'm seeing my friend again. So yes, that is the other thing that I've cast on. I've been so tempted to cast on another tee. If you saw the last episode, I picked up some more linen blend yarn from Bohai Yarns in Dusseldorf, and I was so tempted to cast on another tee with that. I know what pattern I want to do, but I'm trying to be good and finish the projects that I've got on my needles at the moment instead of going for the next new and shiny thing. So yes, I was very good and only cast on small projects. However, I did make an irresponsible purchase. Although it's not irresponsible. You're supporting small and wonderful businesses who are artists, and I do love some nice yarn on a new to me yarn base. This is from one of my favourite hand dyers, Ross of the Wee Yarn Company, and this is his new base, Sulky, and it's 100% Beretta silk, which means it's raw silk, and it's made from all the leftovers from regular silk production. It's not glossy, it's quite matte, and because it's this wonderful silk, this wonderful raw product, it has really good wicking properties. So if it's really hot, which it has been here for the last couple of weeks, and it will be again next week, this is going to be an absolute joy to wear. The weight is 480 meters per 100 grams, so it's a light fingering weight. It does tend to grow a little bit. I've knit with a similar base before, so make sure that if you are going to use something like this, do a gauge swatch and properly block it. Don't do what I do and just go for it and then think, oh no, this has grown. No, be good, do a gauge swatch and properly block it so you can see how much it grows. This colourway is called Sparkle Butt. He has the best names for his colourways. Not sure what I'm going to make with this. Probably quite a simple tee. When it's just such a pretty yarn, I just want the yarn to sing and do its thing, so I'll probably make something quite simple. But I have 3 skeins, so more than enough to make a little tee or something. it's so difficult just not to just cast on all of the things. But I have so much that I need to do, and this time of year is really, really busy for me. So yeah, I'm going to try and behave, but I don't know, it might get the better of me. But the colours in this are just so pretty. Got this lovely sort of quite grown up creamy beigey sort of colour, but then you've got these pops of all sorts of things, from purples to yellows, little bit of blue, a little bit of green, all sorts of things in there. So yeah, a bit of neon yellow in that one. I might helically knit these as well, or I don't know, might just let the yarn do its thing. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So gorgeous yarn. I know that he has lots of different colourways, and I'm pretty sure there's plenty left in stock. So if this is interesting to you, definitely go and check it out, because it's gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. And I must say as well, I don't very often do sort of an unboxing video on Instagram, but Ross's yarns, they're always delivered beautifully packaged in really pretty tissue paper, and he always puts some tea and things like that in as well. Oh, I love ordering yarn from him. It always feels like a special treat. So anyway, I'm definitely rambling now. Let's put those down. In terms of other things that I'm planning on doing, the Thrifty MAL is running at the moment, and I'm really enjoying seeing all of the entries so far. I'm a little bit behind on the entries, and so I'll try and pick those up tomorrow. But have a look in the Ravelry group for some inspiration if you want to see what people have already done. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's entered so far already. But also this time of year is Tour de Fleece, and I'm a relatively new spinner. I really enjoy it, but it's not easy for me yet. It's still fairly challenging, but I do really enjoy it. But last year I had a fibre advent from Wool & Twine, and I've been saving this for Tour de Fleece this year. And I'll just show you these colours. So Wool & Twine is a Hula. She's a dyer up in Hamburg. She uses all natural dyes as well. And I've got, I think it's, 400 grams of this BFL from her, which is, the 100 gram bats. What do you call this? 100 gram bits of fibre. In these gorgeous colours. So that's that one. And then we have that one. And then this. And then finally, if I can get it out with one hand. Finally this. Oh, these colours are my go-to wheelhouse. Let's turn these around so you can see the colours properly. There we go, that's better. Very beautiful, earthy, natural colours, but interesting to look at. So that's what I'm planning on spinning up this month. I know Tour de Fleece has already started, but I was really busy this weekend, so I'm hoping to get my spinning wheel out this week and do something with these. I have a little plan to spin this up relatively fine and make a table runner with some matching placemats with this, because I think it'll look beautiful in the living room. I love it when I make blankets or other things for the home, because they're always on display then. You can always see them. It's not just, you're wearing that one jumper, one t-shirt, whatever. No, you can always see it and always enjoy it. So I was thinking this would look beautiful if I spin this up relatively fine and then do a nice weaving project to make a long table runner and hopefully some matching placemats as well. So that's what I'm planning on doing this month. Oh, gosh, I haven't had these out since just after Christmas when I opened them, and they really are gorgeous. There's such variation in colour here. Really, love these. Love these so much. I'm looking forward to working with this. So I think that is about it today. I don't think I have anything else to talk to you about other than to go away and pick all the fibre off my face that's now stuck to it. I really hope that you're enjoying crafting wherever you are, and that it's not too hot wherever you are. I think that this part of Europe we're going to be going into another heat wave later on this week, but it doesn't look like it's going to be as hot as it was in the previous one. So Yes, over the last couple of weeks I've been trying to get outdoors as much as possible. For a knitter it seems a little counterintuitive, but I love the summer. I love being able to get outside and walk. There's a Volksbad, what do you call it, like big outdoor public swimming pool near me that was built in the 1920s that I enjoy going to visit as well. So at the end of this podcast episode, there's a little tour of my little walk to go to the Volksbad and go for a little swim there, and then I walk back as well. It's pretty long walk. I think it was about 13 kilometres I walked overall. So what is that, about 7.5 miles, something like that, I think. Not very good with miles, with a little kilometre swim in between, but it was, I can't help myself. When the weather's nice, I just want to be outside enjoying it. So the amount of knitting that I do does decrease a little bit when the weather's good. But yeah, anyway, I hope you're enjoying July and getting lots of crafty things done. And if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration, why not join the Thrifty MAL and maybe win some beautiful project bags or some yarn. So yes, I will see you in 2 weeks, hopefully with some more finished objects. And I wish you a very, very lovely day. Take care. Bye.